Hey, and welcome to today's Real Estate Minute. I'm Karin Head Realty Group in North Carolina. I just wanted to go over a few things with everyone for pricing listings. So, this is your Real Estate Minute on pricing listings. Right now, we have a lot of new listings hitting the market, and a few of them will go under contract and will go away and close. The rest of them are overpriced and they're sitting on the market. So essentially, if you have a property that has been on the market for more than a week to 2 weeks, you have a price, condition, location issue, or a combination. So, one of the things you need to start doing when you go to these listing appointments is make sure you have the conversation with the client about pricing the listing. So, agents don't technically control pricing, and clients don't control pricing. The market controls the pricing. As we know, this market has shifted rapidly, and with the rise in interest rates, a buyer can afford a much lower house unless they're paying cash. And then cash is king, cash controls, and you're in a great position if you don't have to get a loan. That said, most people do. So make sure when you're talking to your client, you tell them, sorry, I had itchy nose, that we don't control the price. That if we price it right, the house will go under contract about 1 to 2% up or down either way. That means we got the pricing right. If a house sits on the market and it has very few showings and no real feedback, it's grossly overpriced. If you have feedback and no offers, negative feedback, it's this, it's that, whatever, that means you're still overpriced. You haven't hit the right spot yet. If a house is underpriced, you will have multiple offers that drive it up to whatever that market value is. And so you need to learn how to explain this. And you're welcome to use my hand thing or come up with a better way of doing it. But if it's underpriced, the multiple offers will drive it up, and we're still seeing multiple offers when we get to the right price on a listing. So when you have multiple offers, you have better terms. You have better terms for the close date and the down payment or the due diligence money, which is what we have in North Carolina, or the earnest money. You get better terms if you slightly underprice it, and you get a lot more interest. Now, when you go to list a property, and this is the old school way, 399.99. That's a very 1990s way of pricing. Now, we all know with Google or homes.com or realtor.com, Zillow, the search, people search from 3 to 400,000 or 400 to 500 or 500 to 800 or 800 to a million. Well, if you price at those 99s, so 399 and not 400, you only get the 3 to 400 range. You don't get that 400 to 450 range if somebody's looking in this direction. If that's the lowest price one, they won't look here because you priced it right here at the 399. So you always want to try to price it on the zeros or at least the 25s. So if it really, you can't bring yourself to go to 400, go to 425, 450, 475, 500, then you start doing like 500, 550, 800, 900, start on the zeros when you wind up getting up to close to a million or above. So make sure you teach the client how to price it as well. This shows the client that you are the expert and that that's the old school way of doing things, that the modern way of search engines now is pricing it on as the same way that the clients will search for a house, and not to miss segments of the market here or segments of the market here. And that's another thing. The other thing I would tell you is that every 2 weeks, if your house or your property hasn't sold, they need to be prepared to do a price adjustment, a price correction. Don't say price reduce. When you say price reduce, people are like, they just took money out of my pocket. Well, that money wasn't in their pocket, right? If they had sold 6 months ago, that they would have made more money probably than they would right now, because prices in our area are definitely leveling down because rates are so high. So unless it's a lower version home, generally in our area in the triad under 400. So 400 and below, they're still flying off the market as soon as we put them up. But when you start going up to $1 million and it looks like a family home, and by family, families can be any stretch of the imagination. But when I say family, I mean more than one person, dogs, animals, sometimes multi-generational families will live together, grandparents, parents, kids, even cousins, whoever. So we have a lot more of those as well. So, but a lot of times those folks will get a loan on a property, and they need to have certain information made available to them that they can, if you're buying a larger home, say $1 million, $1 million plus, you've got a lot more negotiating room now in this market than you've had before. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the move up client, somebody selling from, let's say, $300,000 or $400,000, that's moving up to $700,000 or $800,000 house. If this person takes a 10% haircut and this person's still like right at a good price, this person is going to lose more than this person. This person's actually move up clients. Is a perfect time for a move up client. So remember that as well, because the 800, the million, the million and a half, they're going to start taking haircuts because luxury market is the first to go in a downturn. And we haven't quite shifted fully into that, but it's coming. Okay. Remember that you don't say you're sorry for the market. Something we have to oftentimes unteach women. We're often taught to say you're sorry. Don't say you're sorry. We don't control the market, so we're not sorry that the market, we hate that they're not going to get what they would have gotten in March of 2022 when we were insane and frankly somewhat overpriced as a market, but they're going to get a fair price. They're going to buy at a fair price. They're going to have a higher rate that they can eventually refinance. And so worry more about taking a better price for a house than the rate. That's not as important. But also remember, in 6 months or a year or 5 years, they can sell that house. They are not locked into a house for their lifetime. And if they don't like it, they can turn around and resell it later. So just don't try your very best not to stress clients out about certain things of the market. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a place to live. And some of these folks who essentially miss the market because of the interest rates, let's say they were looking at $300,000 houses and now they can afford a $200,000 house. Well, they're not stuck in that forever. They're not stuck in that forever. Just have that conversation with them that they can always improve it and turn around and resell. So price, condition, location, sell properties. Make sure that you are pricing for right now, not 6 months ago. Don't use any comps from 6 months ago. That doesn't work anymore. And really, technically, in a lot of our neighborhoods here in the Triad, our pricing is probably back to about 2019 pricing. And this is November of 2022 making this video. But 2019 pricing, maybe 2020 pricing, but 2020 prices really shot up. So that's today's Real Estate Minute. If you have any questions on pricing, you can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer questions and just give you my professional opinion about what's happening in our market. And if you need someone in another market, if you happen to see this video and you're not in real estate, I'm happy to refer you to somebody somewhere else. But that is today's Real Estate Minute. You know, I've got to end with my music. But I hope y'all have a super great day. Always know you can reach out to me. This is Karin Head, Real Estate Minute.